welcome back to this episode on email writing. Here today, we have been talking about a lot of inquiry emails. Let's understand and dwell deeper what inquiry emails are exactly about and how do we need to get a response for them. When we're talking about inquiry emails, these emails are used to ask for information. For instance, I'm asking for the right person to be contacted in case there is some glitch. Or maybe I'm asking for the person to redirect me to someone else in the organization who's going to be of use to me. We often use a business inquiry email to ask a company to give more details about their product or service. An inquiry response email is the email which you write in response to an inquiry you have received earlier. So if you've received something previously, you're writing in response to the same. Your main goal here while writing them is to meet the sender's request. For instance, if the company has asked you to give a list of your product and services or your brochure in total, that is what you're supposed to share. These kinds of emails are the first step to a potential partner in future. That's the reason it becomes all the more important to break the ice and make sure that you are achieving the desired target. How do we make sure that when we are writing the opening of an inquiry response email, so it has to be perfect? This is basically because you are going to meet this person in the future and you're going to have a long term relationship with him or her. So, the following tips can be followed when it comes to the writing of an opening for an inquiry email response. Your inquiry response is in regards with appreciation, wherein you are appreciating for the quick response that the other party has given you. You can even thank them for their interest in your product or the service and later on give them the details for the same. Let's see a few examples here. Thank you for your inquiry regarding our product or service. So, here you're further elaborating what kind of products you have, what kind of services you have, and you're telling them about this in total. Thank you for your interest in our product or service. We would like to thank you for your letter inquiring about our product. We truly appreciate your letter asking for information about our service. It is a pleasure to receive your inquiry about the product of our company. So, all these sentences give us a gist that how do we make sure that we are thanking for the response we have received over an inquiry email. What to include in the body? You're done with the opening now. Now comes the main part where you have to describe all your WHs. That is what, why, when, where, and how. So these are a few tips that can be followed to write a strong response. First, create a fair, useful body for your inquiry response. You have to make sure you're including all the details possible there. Second, don't be complicated. Do not overcomplicate the entire stuff. Make it easy and don't make your customer wait for long. That acts as bad manners. Go straight to the main points. Do not over exaggerate stuff. You should clarify the name and the amount of information you are sending according to their request. You should not be overloading the customer with a lot of information. What ultimately would happen here is that the customer would get confused. Give additional details if they are suitable, or you can simply mention there that for additional details, we can book a face to face conversation or a call, or we can meet virtually to discuss the same. Explain how it may be of use to them, wherein you're talking about your USPs here. How your product or your service is going to be useful to this customer. When we're talking about the ideal closing, we are now culminating our email. This inquiry response is being closed now. So you can use the following pointers. The first one says, after providing the requested stuff, you should save some space for future contact. You can always mention there that you are willing and ready for a face-to-face conversation or a telephonic conversation. Use a warm and fairly enthusiastic tone in this entire closing part. Why? Because when we are talking about this closing part, we are talking about two things. Number one, how well you have introduced yourself, how well you have described your product, And finally, coming to the closing, how well are you closing it? It shouldn't be a bland and dull closing. Kindly suggest a call or a meeting if that's needed. Let them know you're welcome any request. So if they have to request anything further or they want any further clarifications, you are ready for the same. This has to be highlighted in your email. Show them you're always ready to help in case they have a problem. Do not forget to mention your contact details before you close. The reason for the same is that if you forget to mention the details, the person is again going to contact you over email only. Otherwise, a face to face conversation or even a telephonic conversation is possible. Express your sincere hope for future discussions as well as a partnership between the two companies. So, when we are talking about the deals here, this is the ideal part wherein we are trying to strike the deal. Points to be taken care of when we are understanding the entire piece. There are a few things that you have to take care of. Number one, understand the request precisely. Make sure that you're understanding it in the same fashion as the request of the customer is. Make sure you're not letting your customer wait. You're replying as soon as possible. Make sure you know firsthand what information is there in the mail. Otherwise, if you sit there clueless in the meeting, it's going to be of no use. You also need to describe what your products and services are about. Do not overdo with added data. Do not make the email so elaborate that the person loses interest in seeing what he has to or she has to check. A few samples for the same are: subject line, M Company, that's the name of the company, and we are inquiring about a product which is frozen mango puree. So here we've written frozen mango puree, and it's a product inquiry. Dear Miss Wu, first of all, we would like to express our thanks for your interest in our frozen mango puree product. Here, we have to first thank the person so that the person is aware that we are happy to receive this response from his or her end. Next, this is how you'll proceed with the body now. Introduction done, salutation done, subject line done. Let's move to the mail body now. Regarding your inquiry, we are happy to provide you our frozen mango puree product brochure and our wholesale price list. So here is what you are mentioning you're going to provide. Please note that the brochure includes all the information that you have asked for. Both items are attached at the end of this email. Now, a very important point to be noted here. When you're saying that there are attachments along with the email, people often forget to add attachments. That is a big no no. While proofreading, you have to make double sure that you have attached the required documents. In addition to the items above, we have also enclosed a frozen mango puree catalog, which represents different types of mangoes available, and our logistic guides, which are there for this product. We believe that this will be of help to you. Now, here, if you see, the information is too precise, crisp, and short. No elaboration, nothing needed. Everything that you're giving is in the form of that brochure or that catalog that you'd be sharing along with the mail body. Talking about the closing now. Now, when we are coming to the closing, let's close it wherein we are expecting a response, a positive response from the other end. So it has to be ended on a cordial note. We hope our response has satisfied your request. Should there be any questions, please feel free to contact us. We look forward to hearing from you. Now, here, you have mentioned it in the closing that feel free to contact us. That does mean you're giving your contact information, your complete contact details in the closing. Yours sincerely, Mia, Sales Department, A Company, below this company address and telephone number on which you are reachable should be mentioned for sure.